Globally, we have more than, and after 6 months of launch, we got more than 3,000 developers, more than 500 apps published. And by the way, those apps are from the region, mainly target users that outside. I'll just mention an example, which is very much content. So MTV Lebanon has launched their apps. And I think I heard this many times, that there are more Lebanese people outside Lebanon than in Lebanon. So you see the reason why they went through this process of publishing an app, even if the phone is not available for sale in Lebanon. The other thing we also do a lot is we are in constant touch with developers. And we actually run an event probably every week across our countries to make sure our developers are aware, the developers are ready, and they know how to make sure the app shines. Because once you're in a marketplace with a lot of apps, what you really need is to make sure your app gets downloads. Otherwise, it's just one more out there. So I want to share with you a couple of examples that we have here that, again, developers from a country selling somewhere else, and I think that's something we should look at it and consider in our minds. I think the existing environments are very important and they are big, but we also should look at those. So there's a company called Amlock. They develop books for kids. In the Windows Phone platform, they managed to be in top 1 in the US. They are not from the US. And iOS, they are on the top 400. Top 400 for me is not top. Just, to set expectations, I think top 400 is really, really not top. And this is published all around. They managed to receive much more revenue on this platform rather than the biggest iOS or Android. And the reason for that is because the other ones are crowded. So if you're a new developer and you're thinking to publish a new app, consider the platform. I think it's very much worth it. If you're already there and you're making a lot of money, that's good for you. But if you're thinking to do this now, I really think less crowded platform with the new ways of monetizing can really help you. Second, ads. And we know we are not leader in ads, and Google is here and they are the leader. That's very good, and they make a lot of money on this. But the point is, okay, ads are very good, but can your app be discovered? Can your app be downloaded once you are in a very crowded environment? So this is an example of a company who published a Mortal Kombat, game, Tactics, and they managed to monetize their apps with advertisement. And over time, first, the click per ratio and the impressions they got on their app were more on Windows Phone. In this region, this would be very limited, but again, as they are targeting developers from outside, users from outside, they really get a good turn rate. And the third case, which I just want to share very briefly, is that we managed to discover a student in Jordan who created a translating app, a talk translator app. And now every month he's making $1,000 on his app, which is really, really not bad for a student. Started the whole process completely free of charge. We trained him through our seminars, and they managed to evolve and get these apps. So those small ideas are really the important ideas we're looking for to monetize this. The last piece I want to share with you is regarding operators, and I know there are a lot of operators here. So couple of things we want to leverage with you, and I'm sure we are having discussions, our team's having discussions individually to each one of you. One is, there is a lot of debate on whether you should have your own app store, where you should have the provider, manufacturer app store or not. And we are coming with a concept that we call store in store, which means we have our marketplace, but if a phone gets launched, let's say by STC or Baidu, you can have the section of our marketplace that's exclusive to you. And you can have exclusive apps as you work with developers. You can have apps that are for free within your environment that are paid on other operators' networks. And this is also valid for manufacturers. So if you have a Nokia Windows Phone, some apps will be available for free or exclusive. If you have an Acer Windows Phone, some apps are going to be exclusive or by the phone. And yes, of course, operator billing is very interesting, We have rolled out this with more than 10 operators globally, and we are going to bring this next year to this region. So really looking forward to work with you on that. There's just a small detail here that should be very interesting for you, is that when we do operator billing, we don't give anything away from the developer side, we give away from the Microsoft side. So developers are really excited for us to have that. And the last point, which I think it's important, is how do we promote those apps? So we have a lot of mechanisms of merchandising, both in the online world through the Microsoft properties, MSN, Hotmail, Messenger, on how we can promote the apps that are done by developers, but also think about innovative ways of getting those apps in the hands of people. So operator billing is one, prepaid cards are another, distribution of free apps within the phone as you launch are also very important. So just to conclude, I know I'm very short time and I want to leave some time for questions. If you are developers, you can receive free access to this portal we have launched in the event. We're going to share details with you after. And I also want to open for any questions you might have.
As people gather,
sure.
Netscape and Microsoft. Microsoft is very good at playing catch up. So, you know, when it was the first boom of the internet, Netscape was the leader. Then Microsoft thought, I like that space, I want to go into that space, and actually dominate in that space. Should the industry feel Microsoft playing catch up and also the smartphone arena, or do you think it will not replicate the whole 10 years ago what happened with Netscape and Microsoft? That's an aggressive question, I know, but it's good to know Microsoft sort of that.
Yeah, I think we are late, right? And everybody recognizes that we are very late in this segment. I think the good thing, Jawad, that we are trying to do is that we are trying to do something really different. From the design of the phone, from the interface based on Metro, from the what we call operator-friendly way we're trying to do business, and the enablement of developers is really, really something different. And with everybody we speak, we get a positive vibe, say, we need you guys to get on board. You know, the partnership with Nokia is very important. The other OEMs you're bringing on board, this is very important. We need you to come because operators and developers, today they don't have a choice. They are doing business, sometimes they like, sometimes they don't, but you know, they need to make revenues. And us coming to the party, late or not, it's good for them, and it's going to give more choice to the users and to those companies. So I think that's the part we are trying to take away, is we're trying to do the right thing, we're trying to do it in an innovative way, and time and users will tell if we're doing something good or not.
I have a question from the gentleman here, second row.
Hi, my name is Wasim, here.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead.
I'm head of technology in Danat. Actually, we tried to make small demo, small examples, small application in Windows Phone before, like 2 weeks ago with my team, and we're facing, honestly, a lot of issues with the API. And at the end of the workshop, we agree all of them. It's like Windows.
Can you just speak louder, please? Hi.
Windows platform or Windows Phone or the platform for the Windows Phone, it's like Silverlight client with phone access. It's not like really platform. We're still facing a lot of issue with the access for most the application like GPS and messaging and all this stuff. So you think you have any update or any upgrades coming up?
Yeah. So I'll just comment on overall why we try to do that. So most of the platforms today enable you to do either a lot, and there are a lot of shortfalls on that, or nothing. Right? That's the two sides you have on that. Yeah. When you're allowed to do everything, as a developer, you can mess up the phone. And this is actually happens. So your application can drain up the battery, it can decrease the performance of the phone. And we don't want this, because we want the users to have the best experience possible, whatever apps they are running. That's one side. On the other side, as a developer, if you can't do anything, right? How can you differentiate? How can you actually build something that is really integrated into the phone? So we are trying to place ourselves really in the middle, enabling developers to do activities, but at the same time making sure the whole experience of the phone is not compromised for that. So today, when we launched the phone, we enabled certain capabilities. When we released our update a month ago, the Mango update, we enabled more capabilities, GPS, integration with contacts, calendar, and so forth. Now we are looking to enable even more capabilities. But the most important principle is that we will do this in a way that does not compromise the experience of the phone.
Okay, so is it like we are using same Silverlight infrastructure, or like it's completely different platform?
So today you can develop Windows Phone applications in two ways, either Silverlight or XNA if you're developing games, which is the same language of Xbox. We are going to enable, as we go throughout this year and next year, more ways you can access low-level APIs.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Gustavo. I'm afraid we're out of time for more questions, but of course, I'm sure you'll be here with us over lunch. So,
sure.
So we have one presentation before lunch, and please join me in thanking Gustavo
Thanks.
for his excellent presentation.